Hello everyone, welcome back to our YouTube channel SAP Navigator. In today's video, we will discuss about the variant configuration in SAP SD, how variant configuration will be useful during the order processing, and what could be the benefits it bring to the business by implementing this variant configuration. So that everything we will discuss in this video. Before going to our video, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel SAP Navigator. If you have any queries, you can write an email to sapnavigator@gmail.com, or else if you have any doubts, you can write a comment under this video. Okay, so let's get into today's video. So first we will try to understand the agenda of this video. The agenda will be introduction to variant configuration, so what and why variant configuration is required, and business scenario, and what are the key components, and what could be the master data setup we need to do, and then how configuration will be done during the sales order. Configuration in the sense VC configuration. And so first we will look into the what is variant configuration. So variant configuration used for the configurable and customized product. Like a single material will have multiple possible variants. Okay, let's say you are going to buy a car. So if you're going to buy a car, like that car will have different kind of specifications, like different kinds of colors, different types of engines. Okay, different types of extra features for it, like mid variant, high, medium variant, high variant, or low variant, base variant, like that. Okay, so ultimately product is same. Like let's say you want to buy Tata Nexon, the Nexon will be fine, the product what we see, but inside that we have multiple variants, multiple features. Okay, with alloy wheels, without alloy wheels, like that. So for those kind of materials, okay, so the variant configuration will be useful. Okay, and it avoids creating the thousands of material masters. Okay, like I said, if you look into the one specific car, if you want to buy one specific car, if you go to the brochure, you can see multiple variants for that car. Okay, so if you want to create each material as a variant, so there will be a number of materials will be increases. Okay, so that is in the case of car. But if you go for heavy industrial machineries, okay, so which purely designed as per the customer's requirement. So every time you cannot create a material whenever you get new customer, right? So for in those scenarios, VC will be useful for it. Okay, why variant configuration? Okay, so it will be used to reduce the master data complexity. Right, as I discussed before, you don't need to prepare multiple master data for the multiple variants. Okay, single material will have multiple variants. Okay, real-time pricing and availability, and integrated with production and logistics. Okay, this pricing, like how pricing will be based on the variant, so that I will discuss about next video, so that you guys don't need to confuse between the how pricing setting and variant setting. Okay, so in this video I will only show you the how variant configuration will be done during the sales order. Okay, let's take the one business scenario example. Let's say there is a product, you want to buy a laptop. Okay, so before buying into a laptop, you have certain things in our mind, like that. So I need this much of processor, this much of RAM, this much of storage. Okay, let's say you want to buy one HP laptop, so with processor i5 and RAM is 8 GB and storage location is 512 GB. For the same HP laptop, so I want to buy, okay, or else your friend want to buy i7 processor with a 16 GB RAM and 1 TB SSD. Okay, so there was laptop is same, ultimately material is same, but this material will have multiple variants. Okay, so these settings I will show you in the SAP how this can be done. Okay, so what the key components of the variant configuration. So these are the key components. First you need to define the characteristics, and then you have to give the values for that characteristic, each characteristic. Like characteristics nothing but like RAM, processor, and the storage location. These are the characteristics. And coming to value, so value means, like let's say if it is a RAM, 8 GB RAM is 16 GB RAM, like that. Okay, so 8 GB 16 GB are like values. And variant class, so these characteristics will be assigned to variant class. Okay, and we should have one material, configurable material, which is a laptop, like final product you can see laptop. And the configuration profile. Okay, with this profile we need to create it for the material. Okay, actually variant configuration, many people think that it is a bit complex one, whereas variant configuration will include a less SAP configuration. It is more of a master data thing. Okay, it is like how well you will define your master data and set up your master data. Okay, So there is no much complex in it. So to avoid that complexity, like I'm not discussing about the variant pricing in this video. I will prepare a separate video for the variant pricing so that you will get a clear idea for it. So first we will discuss how to set up the variant configuration for the material in this video. Okay. So these are the steps. First what we have to do, we need to create the characteristics. Okay, this is the T code for it, and then we need to assign the value to the characteristics. So in the same T code we have an option to assign values, and then we have to create a variant class, and that class you have to assign to the class type, like standard class type 300. So that 300 you have to assign to the metal master classification tab, and in the metal master you have to assign the strategic group, and you have to check the checkbox as a configurable material checkbox in the basic data 2 tab. Okay, and then now you have to create the configuration profile for the material. So these are the simple 5 steps we can do to set up the variant configuration. Okay, I will show you the step-by-step explanation in SAP. Okay, let me take you to the SAP. Okay, so if I open SAP, the first step we need to do, we need to create the characteristics. So what is the T code for it? CET-GFO. Okay, so here you can create your characteristic. Okay, let me create a characteristic for the RAM. Here you can see create icon, create it, and description RAM. Okay, and what could be the data type? Character format, and the value assignment is single. So maximum character I will give, let's say I will give 10. Okay, and you should have to make sure that status is released. If it is locked, you cannot use it. Only if it is released, then only you can able to use it. Okay, description we have given RAM. So this is for English language. If you want to set up for another language, you can set up it. Okay, so based on different language, you can write the description in that language. Okay, so and the values. Okay, this is the second step. I will show you here. So what is the second step? So here what is the second step? Assigning value to the characteristics. Okay, so inside the creation, in the values tab, you can write your value. So what could be the value? 8. Let's say I will start with 4. 4 means 4 GB RAM. 8 GB RAM. Next 16 GB RAM. Okay, these are the details. So here if you click on additional data, you will find this color procedure for value assignment, not ready for input, no display all domains. Not ready for input means, like if you check this checkbox, this characteristic value like you will be grayed out during the sales order processing. Okay, no display one display. So display all values means like the values whatever we have maintained here. So these all values will be displayed in the sales order. Okay, so this I will show you during the sales order process by checking each checkbox, and I will show you over there. Okay, and if you come here, so the class type, the standard class type you can assign for the 300. Okay, this is class type, not class. Okay, you just remember that this is a class type, not class. Class yet to be created. The standard class type 300 we are assigning it here. Okay, let's save. Okay, now RAM is done. Now the second thing is processor. Okay, processor, and data type also character, number of character 10. Okay, here values, what the processor we have, i5, i7. Okay, i5, i7. Okay, here I won't make any changes. Let's save it. And storage, third thing is storage. So it is released. 10. And what are the storages values? It can be 512 GB and 1 TB, 1 terabyte. Save it. So our step 1 and step 2 is completed. What is step 1? Creating characteristics that we have created, and then assigning the values that also we did here. So step 1 and step 2 is completed. What is our step 3? So our step 3 is creating the variant class. Okay, let's create the variant class by using T code CL02. So if I go back and I have to create the CL02, I have to create the variant class. So which class we can name your own class? Okay, let's say I will give a class as glab. Okay, glab2. Okay, class type, which class type we are using? 300, right? Okay, so I need to create it. Okay, laptop class, and make sure that status is released. Okay, so these and all, like you can ignore it. So this will be useful while processing the bill of materials. Okay, let me save it. So class is created. So step 3 also completed. So this here comes our fourth step. What is our fourth step? Material master changes. Okay, so material master changes. So here what we have to do, we have to assign the strategy group, and then we have to check the checkbox for the configurable material in basic data. Okay, so before that let me create a new material for you. Okay, vc underscore laptop. So I will create using reference so that it won't take much time. I will use finished words. So some people used to say you have to use KMAT material, which is a configurable. Okay, so either you can go for KMAT material or else you can use FRT material. So it's all depend on the settings inside the material master. Okay, it's not about the material type, settings inside the material master. Okay, so let me change the description. Variant laptop. Okay, so what we have to do in basic data 2 tab, you need to check the checkbox. This should be configurable material. Okay, if you check this checkbox only, then only system consider this material should be if this material is a configurable material. Okay, it will allow you to do the configuration. Okay, this is one check. And coming to classification, so here class type is 001, it by default came, but what is our class type? 300. You have to select the 300 class type. Under this, what is our class? JetLab. I forgot it. Let me take it from drop down. Laptop. See, Jet laptop. How is our class? Okay. Press enter. Okay. Then classification we have added, and we have to do one more step called the strategy group. Okay, so that strategy group you will find it in MRP3 view. Let's go to the MRP3 view. So this is the MRP3 view. In the MRP3 view, you can see strategy group. So this strategy group either should be make to order or the configure. So configuration is allowed. Okay. So here make to order configuration is allowed. So make to order for the configure material. Okay, let's save this material. Okay, VC laptop is created. So now here comes our final step, step 5. What is step 5? In step 5 we have to create the configuration profile for this material master. Okay, so step 5 is configuration profile for the material master in this T code CO41. Okay, let's create the configuration profile for this material. Okay, let me come back. So CU41 to create the configuration material. So the configuration profile where we are creating material. Okay, you have to select the material and click on continue. Okay, so our material is VC laptop. Okay, let's go and profile name, you can give your profile name, whatever profile you are giving. So 01. So we have to enter the class type here. So this is the class type column. Let me expand it. So the class type 300 we have to give. Okay, and you have to make sure that status is released. Okay, here you can see 1 2 3. So 1 means release, 0 means in preparation, 2 means locked. Locked means you cannot use it, so it should be released. Okay, and then save it. Okay, done, save it. So now we have done all the 5 steps. Okay, what are the 5 steps? We have created the characteristic and we have given the values to that characteristic, and then we have to create the class, and then we have changed the material master accordingly, and then final step we have created the configuration profile as well. Okay, now let's see. So let us create the sales order for it. Okay, so I'm taking my sales area and sales document. Okay, VC laptop something I will. So what is our material? VC underscore laptop. You just assume it, you just try to look into it. Okay, so the moment when I press enter, it will take you to the configuration screen. Okay, so this VC laptop is not defined in sales organization. So let me create the sales order. Okay, let me select customer. Okay, so here it is saying no characteristic exit for the material VC laptop, which means we have assigned the class and then class type, but that assigned class don't have the characteristics. What are our characteristics? RAM, processor, storage, right? So those we need to assign it to the class. So let me go to the class. What is T code? CL02. So Z laptop, this is our class. Okay, let me go inside. So here if you look into the tab characteristics, so here it is empty. So here we need to assign our characteristics, RAM and processor and storage. Okay, so if I save it, okay, I have saved it. Okay, now let me create the sales order and see. Okay, if I go to sales order creation screen again. Okay, let me give the customer, so VC laptop. See, the moment when I press enter, it will take you to the configuration screen. So here what are the things? RAM, processor, storage. So if you take the drop down, what are the options you have? 4 GB, 6 GB, 8 GB, 16 GB. So these only we have configured, right? So let me select the 6 GB. Okay, and then processor, i5 processor, select, and storage. Okay, I will select the storage as 1 terabyte. Okay, press enter. The moment when I press enter, the description what we gave here, it is automatically populating here. Okay, so I can go back to sales order. Okay, now it is done. Okay, now what if I remove the RAM? Okay, I don't give anything here, I don't give any value here, but system is asking for value. Why? Because same thing I will do it for the processor. I will remove Wi-Fi and I will go there. Okay, system won't restricting me. So here without RAM, system is not allowing it to save the sales order. Okay, what could be the control for it? The control, let me show you. If I go to CT04 cat6 RAM, here I maintain the entry required. Okay, so that's why system is not allowing me to save the sales order without this RAM entry for this characteristic RAM. Okay, so if I remove it, okay, let's say let me remove it and save it. Okay, and I will, earlier it is allowing me to save the sales order without processor value, right? So here now I will make the processor value as a required entry. Okay, entry required, save it. Okay, now let me go to the sales order. Let me try to create the sales order again. Okay, so now RAM is not required value, right? So I will keep it as a blank. Processor is required value, and that also I will keep it as a blank. And storage location only, I just select storage location 512 GB. See, if I want to go back to my SO screen, so it will pop up for the processor. See, now it is throwing pop up for the processor. I have to select the processor, otherwise system won't allow me to go there. See, but if I, so now you can see RAM value is not entered, still you can see it is completed, status is released. Okay, so let's see if it is, if I remove the processor, you can see yellow mark means it is incomplete. Okay, so this is the controls we have at the characteristics. Okay, and let me show you the one more control for it. So if I go to our characteristics CL04, okay, sorry, CT04, and inside the processor you have the single value, multiple value, right? So value assignment is single and multiple value. Okay, let's say I want to allow multiple values in the storage. Okay, multiple values, okay, for storage, and let me save it. Okay, if I come to sales order again, if I need to refresh it, right? If I come to sales order, if I give the material, so here now RAM I can give, processor I5 I can give, and you can see here I have got the checkbox for the things, which means I can select both the things, both 512, 1 terabyte, both I can select for the storage location. But whereas you can see for the processor, it is a radio button, I can only select one value at a time. Okay, either i5 or i7. Okay, whereas the storage thing, I can select both the things. Okay, I can select the multiple, either I can select single value, I can select the multiple value. Okay, so this is the control for the multiple values. Okay, and what are the conditions remaining? Okay, so here you can see not ready for input, no display, displayed for allowed values. So not ready for input means, like by default it will be grayed out. Okay, if I select for the not ready for input and save it, system won't allow you to put the value for this characteristic. Okay, let's see how it will work. If I go to VA01, so every time whenever you are making changes, you have to refresh the screen. So that's why every time I'm going back and creating this new sales order. Okay, see, now storage characteristic became the grayed out. I cannot input any value here. Okay, so you might ask me why SAP has given this feature. So The ultimately the castic is to give some input, right? But you are grading out. So what the purpose should be? The thing is, where some clients, like in some requirement, this castic value will automatically fill by some function module or some user exit. So it will be filled by default thing. Let's say if I select the 8 GB RAM. If I select the 8 GB RAM, automatically 512 storage location, 512 GB storage location should be selected. Okay, that's what client requirement. So in those cases, how we fetch the 512? So okay, so their user should not have access to change it. So in those cases, it will be useful. So it will be grayed out for the manual input, whereas system automatically fill it by function modeler backend configuration. Okay, based on the initial input. Okay, this is the settings for it. And what else we have? Display allowed values. Okay, if I select the display allowed values, so what are the allowed values we have for the storage location? Both 512 GB and 1 terabyte. So if I save it, so by default system will display those two values. Okay, now let me again create the sales order. See, storage location, so by default it is showing 512 1 terabyte. Okay, what are the values are allowed, so it will display over there. Okay, 8 5. Okay, so inside you can select your one and then go for say order creation as usual. Okay, this is a control for it. So similarly different kind of products, so like we will create the variant configuration in the same model. Okay, so let's take example as car. Okay, if I select the car like the, so here you can see configuration is not possible for the material. Why? Because there is no configuration profile assigned for this material. Okay, so where you will assign the configuration profile? So you can assign the configuration profile at the CU41 transaction. Okay, if you go to CU41, okay, VC underscore car, so there is no profile here. So if there is a profile, then only it will allow. Okay, what is our class type? 300, then release, save. Okay, now if I come back to sales order and create the sales order, system now allow the configuration thing. So now I will use VC. See, now it is showing the characteristic value. So we have color and tone. Let's say the car color like red, blue, yellow. So let me select the blue, and the tone, whether it is single tone or dual tone. Okay, like that. So either you can add the engine specification or cruise control specification, allow wheels condition, disc conditions, all those different characteristics you can add it. If you want it, you can add it. So similarly, like it will be for heavy machineries also. Okay, like calibration vessels and heavy machinery. So in real time, these can be used for the configuration materials. Okay, I hope you got clear idea for it, right? How to create a variant configuration, how to use variant configuration in SAP SD, how to create the variant configurable materials in SAP SD. So in our next class, I will discuss about the how price will be determined based on the variant material. Okay, let's say when you select the i5 processor, the price will be different. When you select the i7 process, price will be different. So price will change automatically. Okay, based on the variant you selected. So that we will discuss in coming video, next video. So until then, like if you find our video is useful, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel SAP Navigator. Thanks for watching. So have a good day. Thank you so much.